We are literally running a casino on the stock exchange now, and nobody blinked. That is the most unhinged regulatory capture I've ever seen.
It's not a casino, it's a derivatives market for policy outcomes, which is a much more sophisticated way of saying people are betting on whether the Fed will raise rates or not.
Semantics! It's still gambling with other people's money disguised as financial innovation.
Right, but the point is the liquidity is Fallagrach's to traders, unlike the nonsense we're about to talk about next.
Wait, hold on.
Welcome to the Tab Dump. I'm Sam.
And I'm Alex, and I am incredibly excited about the Kalshi story because the underlying event contract architecture is actually genius, even if the use case is sketchy.
Ha! You're excited about sketchy? Great, but we're also digging into the lucky birthday algorithm trap, where a simple date logic bug turned a family celebration into a nightmare. And then we're looking at the SEC's scrapping quarterly reporting.
The SEC move? That's huge. That means less overhead for startups.
It means less transparency for the average investor, but sure, let's just assume the system works perfectly when no one is watching.
But have you seen the Netanyahu AI clone? The uncanny valley is finally being weaponized for political means.
Yeah, which brings us to our last topic. How we're supposed to prove we're human when the deepfakes are this good. It's terrifying.
Okay, hold on. The engineering elegance of Kalshi is actually insane. They built a matching engine that settles in seconds, uses order books instead of fixed odds, and lets you hedge risk on macro events. It's not a slot machine, it's a derivative exchange for reality. So you're defending the fact that you can legally bet on whether a specific politician will resign? Wait. That's not gambling, that's information aggregation. If I know something about the Senate's internal polling, my trade moves the price, and that price becomes a public signal. It's the efficient market hypothesis applied to human behavior.
It's a casino in a tuxedo, Alex. Arizona is charging them criminally because, let's be honest, this incentivizes insider trading on human misery. Why would a journalist leak a scandal to the public when they can leak it to a Kalshi account first?
Wow. Okay, but that's a feature, not a bug. The market reveals what the press is too cowardly to print. If the price spikes, someone knows something.
Right, but who gets hurt when that someone is a lobbyist who just got paid to shift the needle?
There's where the CFTC oversight comes in. They're regulated entities, not offshore bookies.
They're regulated where? Arizona says they're violating state election laws, and honestly, I think they're right.
That's the hot take, though. Arizona is killing the one place we can actually see if the Fed is going to raise rates.
And the counter hot take? We don't need a platform that makes money off the idea that democracy is just a series of binary options.
But without the price discovery, we're just guessing. We're flying blind.
Maybe we should be blind sometimes.
Oh, come on. You can't just shut down the most advanced data market in history because the optics are messy. That's like banning cars because they have accidents.
No, it's like shutting down a casino that's letting people bet on whether the town hall will burn down.
Okay, I need to debug the parenting algorithm here because the logic is, well, it's a mess. So the system is set up where Ken, born on March 17th, gets a full week of leprechaun mischief and a rascal theme, but Amy, nothing, no leprechaun. It's like having a server cluster where one node gets GPU acceleration and the other is running on a toaster. You're optimizing for holiday alignment instead of equal resource allocation.
Right, but you're missing the point. This isn't a resource allocation issue, it's a second-class citizen issue.
The kid doesn't care about GPU acceleration. She cares that her brother gets a week-long party and she gets a we'll do a small gathering at home vibe.
Wait. I mean, technically, the leprechaun is just a conditional hook. If birthday shows St. Patrick's Day, then trigger leprechaun event.
Mm-hmm.
You could just decouple the event from the holiday. Have a leprechaun show up for Amy too, just because. Or better yet, make the leprechaun a birthday leprechaun for everyone.
Ha!
Oh, come on. You think you can just patch this with a new conditional? The damage is already done. She's 2. She notices.
This is the same problem we saw with the Kalshi gambling thing. Adults optimizing for fun, or special ends up creating a system where the kids are the ones paying the cost.
But the leprechaun is actually kind of cool. I mean, building a leprechaun trap, that's a great engineering project for a 5-year-old. Imagine the excitement of the physical build, the logic of the trap mechanism, the anticipation of the mischief. It's a whole system design.
Yes, but only for Ken. And that's the hot take. This obsession with lucky birthdays is actively damaging. It teaches kids that their worth is tied to external, arbitrary factors. You're special because you were born on a holiday. That's a terrible foundation. I guess, but can't we just refactor the holiday logic? Make it birthday day instead of...
Otherwise, you're just building a system where the second kid is always the fallback instance.
This is huge. The SEC is actually considering scrapping quarterly reporting. Think about it. No more quarterly theater. No more cutting R&D to hit a 10K target. Engineers get to build for 5 years, not 5 weeks. It's like finally turning off the boss music in the dungeon so you can actually focus on the puzzle instead of the timer. Ha! So let me get this straight. You think removing the only window workers have into their company's actual health is a win for stability?
It's about long-term vision versus short-term panic. We just talked about the Kalshi Crackdown. Remember how that was about hiding complexity behind a tuxedo? This is the opposite. It's about admitting that the current system forces bad engineering decisions to look like good financial ones.
Wait. Who is this supposed to help? The average employee? The person getting laid off because the board decided to hide a bad quarter until it's too late? Without quarterly reports, a company can quietly bleed cash for 6 months. You won't know until the layoffs hit.
But that's fraud, Sam. We still have 8Ks for material events.
Right, but who defines material when the quarterly check is gone? It's a gift to corporate malfeasance. Remember the OpenAI and NVIDIA deal? If they aren't forced to break down the numbers quarterly, how do we even know if the chips were overvalued or if it was just a bribe to inflate a stock price?
That's a valid point, but the current system creates perverse incentives. You'd rather be token rich or GPU rich, but not quarterly rich.
Oh, come on.
You're romanticizing this. It's not about tokens anymore. It's about whether a factory worker knows if their job is safe.
If you scrap this, you're basically saying, trust us to the people who build the servers.
Is it worse than the current state where we fire people to meet a Wall Street target?
Exactly. And who gets to decide when the emergency is over?
So the Netanyahu deepfake story is technically fascinating because it hits the uncanny valley of leadership. The latency in the lip sync, the micro expressions that don't quite match the audio waveform. It's a system failure, not a human one. But think about the architecture of verification. We're building systems where the default state is suspicious until the cryptographic proof is presented. It's like a distributed ledger where your biological existence is the transaction you need to sign.
Right, but who actually gets hurt when the verification fails? This isn't just a glitchy video. This is the moment the burden of proof flips entirely. Now the human has to prove they're real, not the AI prove it's fake. That is a terrifying inversion of reality.
I mean, the tech is cool. The way these diffusion models are getting better at temporal consistency is wild. It's like the Kalshi Crackdown, but for human identity.
Ha! You think this is cool? It's a disaster waiting for a warlord to trigger WW3 just because a bot says they did. The comment about Trump hiding kitty files was dark, but the mechanics are real.
Wait. You're missing the engineering challenge here. How do we build a system that can distinguish a high-fidelity clone from the source in real time? That's the puzzle. If we solve for the audio spectral analysis, we solve for the trust issue. It's just a pipeline problem.
It's not a pipeline problem. It's a societal collapse problem.
When does the ICC actually get to verify him? If the world stops believing video evidence, what's left? Text? Phone calls? None of that is secure anymore.
So, we need a biometric signature? A digital watermark on the human body? Or maybe a hardware key you carry?
Right, but that's the Black Mirror scenario. You have to prove you're not an AI clone, and no one will believe you. That's the meme, but it's also the end game.
Okay, maybe I'm getting too excited about the tech. But isn't it impressive that
Our computers are better than Star Trek, sure. But our social contract is worse. And that's the scary part.
Valid point. But I still think the lip sync latency is the smoking gun here.
And I still think the smoking gun is that we're out of ammo.
My pick is the Netanyahu AI clone because the technical leap in voice synthesis is just, it's like we skipped a decade of CGI.
That is the least important thing on that list, Alex. Seriously. While real people are getting scammed on gambling platforms, you're geeking out over a deepfake of a politician?
But that's the vector. The tech is the vector. If we don't understand the pipeline, we can't secure it. It's just like the Star Trek computer, but now it's weaponized.
Right, but the Kalshi story is the one that actually matters because it proves the SEC is willing to crack down on gambling in a tuxedo when the stakes get real.
Okay, fair, but the lucky birthday trap is my real favorite because it shows how brittle our logic gates are when they touch human grief.
See, that's exactly why you're a builder and I'm the one asking who gets hurt. You see brittle logic, I see a family getting denied a benefit because a date format was off.
Wait. I'm saying the system was brittle, not that the family didn't suffer. There's a difference between the bug and the impact.
Is there? In this economy, a bug is an impact. If your code crashes a hospital, you don't get a good try pat on the back.
Okay, hot take. I bet by next year, every single government form will require a humanity check CAPTCHA just to prove you aren't an AI trying to scam the birthday loophole.
That sounds like a dystopian nightmare waiting to happen, but honestly, given the Kalshi crackdown, I wouldn't be surprised if the SEC starts treating AI-generated forms as illegal securities.
Ha, that's the nightmare. All right, let's dump the tabs and go home before the SEC audits our podcast.
Please do. Good night, everyone.